So they're receiving an amount of weekly money, which is means tested at that stage. The means test was still in use, whereby an assessor comes to the house and checks if you have anything that you could sell to improve your position so that you would not have to leave the money. Well, you wouldn't have to receive the money. Now that's where this phrase, the clothes that they stood up in, comes from. Because technically this is a legal definition. It goes back to an Act of Parliament of the 1870s where you could be obliged to sell an item, but not an item that would affect your modesty or standing in the community. So yeah, an expensive hat, yes, that goes. A skirt or a dress, no, because, well, for obvious reasons. So you'd be forced to sell anything that you could sell that wouldn't make you kind of, well, I don't know, indecent.
Naked.
Or naked, yeah, yeah. So you wouldn't be selling your underwear on the streets. That's assuming you had underwear, of course. So it was a very cruel law, really. But they were under that parish situation, which pertained in the 1930s, although the MacDonald government, before they finished in 1931, they had further reduced the payments that people were receiving. They lived in a single room. Now, that by that stage is not entirely unusual either. And as I say, they were receiving this money, and the father was getting casual work. That was also another problem, because if you got work that lasted more than 2 or 3 days, you were obliged to tell the authorities so that you would then not receive the money at all. She later attended evening classes because she'd missed so much school. She managed at the age of 16 to get permission, because the school board had accepted her reason for being off school because of the other children, which they would do, I think. She was attending what we would call a technical college today, night school, and she got a job working for a charity which looked after people in the Liverpool and Bootle area. She was a home visitor to some extent, I suppose you'd describe her today. Now, she uses this background in her novels. I'm going to mention these novels because they're all available. Most of them are still in print. I checked this morning, and some of them are on the Talking Book Library. I think 4 of them. Liverpool Daisy, Cup of Tea and an Aspirin, and 3 Women of Liverpool, which is the most read of all of those early novels. They are essentially based on the kind of life that she and people were living at that time. Now, the war was a bad time for her. She was here throughout the Blitz, and she lost 2 successive boyfriends. And I mean by this, men to whom she was engaged. So they're not just kind of boyfriends, they are people that she probably would have married. Both killed in action, both killed in the war. At the end of the war, she met an Indian doctor, the Bashir. They, after the war, they travelled widely. They travelled throughout the world because he was a theoretical physicist. It's easy to say that. And so they travelled a lot. And it wasn't until 1955 that they settled in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada. Now, obviously, if she'd continued writing about Liverpool just and not lived in it, then you can see why people would have commented. But the next novel she wrote, I couldn't find these 2 on any of our catalogues, but one of them was, in case any of you have heard of it, one of them was called Thursday's Child, but I couldn't find that on my lists. But it was partly set in Liverpool, apparently, and partially set in Canada. Her memoir, Tuppence to Cross the Mersey, I've read, of course. Well, it's a bit sentimental for modern readers sometimes, but also it's harsh as well. It's a kind of book that I suppose people wouldn't write now. You'd have to read it to make your own decision anyway. It wouldn't be right for me to say. But I could not say that it appears to me to be historically inaccurate. Anyway, if you want to read it, it's available on most of our libraries. It became a bestseller. One of the other books that became a bestseller in Canada, particularly in Canada, The Latchkey Kid and The Lemon Tree. They were very popular. They're still in print. Her life really then was, from a writing point of view, she still published books, about 18 books in all. Her husband became a professor of theoretical physics in Edmonton, in Canada, and she lived until she was a very good age, dying on the 24th of November 2011, aged 92. She was in Liverpool in 1988 to receive a doctorate from the Liverpool University, and she gave a very interesting interview where she talked about writing about what she knew. She did not deny that she'd had a successful life. She made the point that there's nothing wrong with that. If life turns you if life makes you change and makes your life different, she just reported on that, and she said how much Liverpool had given to her and how much she'd enjoyed it, even though many of the times were extremely hard. Once again, then, her books are still available. I suppose that says something about her. Her books are still available and certainly interesting enough, I think, to read.